Give him the forecast.
Omega level threat detected.
Ancient sands, heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred!
Imagine having to wear this to the Met.
Imagine going to the Met in 2024. Imagine seeing the tone of the world shifting the way that it is. People finally waking up and crying out about pollution, corruption, and overproduction, about genocide and proxy wars, about resource theft and child labor. Imagine seeing all this happening before your very eyes and thinking, you know what the world needs to be paying attention to right now? Me and my silly hat. Look at my hat, everybody. Isn't it just something? Imagine spending $75,000 on a ticket and God knows how much money, time, energy to play dress up as a monument to opulence in some kind of twisted, fucked up Hunger Games cosplay during a time when even the obedient people, even the people who did what they were told, are looking at a future where they might not be able to do basic things like own a home, start a family, or ever retire. Imagine seeing the president of a Western-backed, UN-recognized country publicly declare his intentions to commit yet more war crimes on the very same night and think, but I've already bought my hat. I can't cancel. They have to see it. Tonight is about me and my hat. Shame.
Child. It's like when I don't know what to do with myself, I just go to the gym. If I can't sleep, go to the gym. You know, angry, sad, go to the gym. Happy, go to the gym. I just go to the gym. And maybe that's a good thing. I never had this level of go to the gym before. I guess now that I don't look at it as like an obligation or work, it just flows freely. Oftentimes I don't even think about the gym and I just end up getting dressed and going to the gym. Maybe on all of the different levels of consciousness, right? That's just, okay, girl, not only is it useful as a coping mechanism, this is going to help you get into the shape that you want to be in. Because growing up, like, I had so many different body style phases that I went through. When I was younger, I wasn't fat or, husky. I was a regular size little boy. It wasn't until I started taking antidepressants and antipsychotic medication. If you're new here, yeah, a bitch is crazy, okay? A bitch is crazy. Foster care and, the childhood trauma definitely did a number on me. But it wasn't until I started taking medication, I just blew up. Let me tell y'all something. I was in martial arts. For those that don't know, I'm a black belt. Hello, God. In judo. Hello, God. I boxed for a while. I think it was like maybe a summer. I boxed. It was really a challenge because I went to this place called PAL, Police Athletic League. And when I was at this group home, we had a relationship with them. And they were one of our sponsors, and we were one of their sponsors. And so they gave all of, the group home kids free everything. So we were challenged by the boxers because they were like, we bet we'll take y'all down. So our, instructor, our judo instructor, child, hello God, his fine ass. Oh, he was so fine. Oh, yes. White man, had that little earthy vibe, the tree huggers, girl, the let's make peace, and martial arts is about grace and beauty and order amongst chaos. Girl, I'm just trying to learn how to whoop some motherfucker's ass, bitch, okay? Hello, God. Like, girl, let's save that Tai Chi trash, girl, for, Wu Feng and the girls, child. And I don't care nothing about that, girl. Teach me how to wear a hoe the fuck out, bitch, okay? Because street fighting is cute. I'm from the hood, the projects, honey, okay? But, girl, I want to learn some other shit. Because I also grew up watching kung fu movies. I grew up watching all kinds of martial arts movies. Bruce Lee was one of my idols, girl, okay? Love me some Bruce Lee, bitch. Jackie Chan, Jet Li. Girl. Jackie Chan, not as much as everybody else because I don't like messy-ass fighting. And I just always felt like Jackie Chan promoted a very messy style of martial arts. But girl, to each his own. It's what made him funny, I guess, to most people. But don't get it twisted. Jackie Chan will beat your ass. Remember the days of Jean-Claude Van Damme, child? What's his name? Sylvester? Not Sylvester. That big tall dude, that white dude, who they claim was never a real martial artist, girl. Damn, what was his name? Steven Seagal. Bitch, Michael J. White is a real martial artist. Wesley Snipes is a real martial artist. Like, don't get it twisted on some of these dudes. Y'all think they're just playing a character. They will beat your ass in real life in 100 different ways, girl. I'm telling you. Y'all, girl, I'm telling you. Remember the Kung Fu era? I know a lot of the newer, the newly born, the newly hatched, bitch, hello gone. Y'all, that may not resonate with y'all, but there was a time in the 90s and early 2000s, girl, where the martial arts, the Kung Fu, runneth deep in the black community, girl. I'm telling you, girl. We were on that shit. I remember them days, honey. But yeah, I was really into that. But they challenged us, and we obviously we won. I enjoyed boxing too. I was like, damn, I kind of like this, and it doesn't hurt to be trained in multiple things. I was also trained in stick fighting, Kalai stick fighting, which is a Filipino stick fighting martial art, girl. Loved it. Was whooping ass. Now in the beginning I was trash, but girl, that's what I'm trying to tell the girls. Y'all better leave me alone. Y'all better leave me alone, bitch. Please just leave me alone. Some of that shit was low-key court-ordered. I had to show some type of anger management because I was on probation, girl, for whooping ass. Hello, God. But yeah, I was in flag football. I liked sports. I didn't like the structure of sports. I like to do what I want to do. Okay? It's just like the niggas that play Grand Theft Auto. I'm not doing no missions. I'm just trying to steal cars, kill everybody in the city, girl. Bitch, try to defeat the FBI and the military when they finally get you. Okay? I don't like structured shit. So, I'm playing basketball. I want to do what I want to do. Shout out to Jocelyn, girl. Jocelyn Hernandez. I want to do what I want to do, Stevie. That's just how I was. Like, you're not playing it right. I don't care if I'm not playing it right. I'm playing, period. Let me do what I want to do. Flag football was too soft for me. I felt like, girl, let's start running these niggas over. They didn't like that, so they kicked me off the team, child. Back then, they were really like, I'm not going to say they were soft, but, child, I don't know. I played basketball for a little minute. I was always outside, riding bikes, just a fit-ass kid. Very energetic and an outdoorsy type of kid. That's just what it was. I got into my teen years, girl. they put me on that damn medication. I blew up. You would have thought my diet consisted of helium gas, bitch. You know, you just would have thought I'm just out here just devouring. No, it was the medication. Turned me numb, turned my emotions off, fucked with my self-esteem to the point where I just didn't give a damn no more. I wore a gray fleece, which was my go-to fleece, because you know, all fat people, we have to wear clothes a little bit bigger because we didn't feel comfortable in fitted clothes. That fleece was with me all the days of my life for that time period, child. I'll never forget that. A mess. I went from a fashion god to wearing the cute shit, you know, to being physically fit, desired by all. And then I became this fat ass Pillsbury Doughboy, honey. And deep down I knew it, but it was one of those things where you just block it out. Yeah, they really had me gone on that medication. And once I had kind of realized that, I kind of spoke to the doctor and I was like, girl, like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't care, like, what y'all, you know, do or say. I'm done with this because, like, I'm dragging. I feel more depressed taking antidepressants, girl. Like, no. All I want to do is eat. All I want to do is stay to myself. I was droopy, sleeping all the time. Just, it was a mess. Then that was around the time, actually, I was 15. That's when I started smoking cigarettes. Well, I started smoking Black & Milds first, and then I went up to cigarettes after that. And it just was like, girl, a mess. I got all the way up to 300 plus pounds. When I was about 18, 19, I was about 350. It was just, and then I lost all that weight, got down to 205. Then gained, went back up to 320, lost, went back to like 230 is where almost 230, 240 is where I was at about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. Gained some of that back, got up to 270, 280. And so my body has been through a lot. And I'm trying, y'all. The clock is ticking, in my opinion. I know a lot of people, you know, time is irrelevant. Shout out to Mariah Carey. But I want to walk into my 40s. I'll be 37 next year. To even say that out loud in reference to myself is crazy, because I literally can think just like it was yesterday. I was in my 20s. So that's just another message to y'all young people, girl. We think we have all the time in the world. You don't. You really, really, really don't. The average lifespan, if you're lucky, is about 70 to 80 years old. And that's if, you know, that's if Miss Destiny allows it, if it's in the cards for you, girl, you know? So, because that's like that's the halfway point. I've lived half of my so-called existence so far. And I just want to show up in the next big phase of my life in a different way. And not just with the looks, the health, but with the wealth. Hello, God. I've been sitting back, observing, reporting, taking notes, writing my little speech to my boss. I have my evaluation coming up soon. I think it's right on time. My nephew's about to head off to college, and you know, it's time for me to switch gears, switch positions, which will then, you know, upgrade my salary. Even when that's upgraded, even if it's at a real comfortable point, I'm still out here looking for a second gig. Because at this point, you have no choice but to have multiple streams of income. Shout out to the web reality girls. Multiple streams of income. You got to do what you got to do. And I can't pour into Tika Naturals if I don't have, you know, the funds to do so. And that's one thing that I feel like will help me do that and sustain that. That way one day, all I got to focus on is my business. Again, whoever created the concept of work, labor, fuck you, bitch. Period. Bills, whoever created any of that, like, to pay in a place where you're just born into. No one asked to be here. You come out the pussy owing some money. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But I just want to get my life together. I want to look good. I want to feel good. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. You're more motivated. Not everybody may look at it that way, but I tell you, if your fitness is right, if your health is right, you will be motivated to move forward with your life. Especially when you really think about how short the human lifespan really is. Like, girl, get out there and do that shit. And that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. Because the first portion of my life was just a fucking sad ass song, girl. Like, I want the next portion of my life to just be freedom, happiness, independence, doing what I want, when I want, how I want. Hello, God. Like, I just refuse to go into that next big phase. Because I think once you step into 40, you need to have it together. That's how I look at life, at least. Like, when you touch 40, your finances need to be the T. Your credit needs to be the T. You shouldn't be living how you was living, because I feel like we all live based on our decisions. And I'm not going to lie, for me, I'm a Capricorn, but I'm a big procrastinator. Sometimes I literally will sit on the sidelines of my own life and just be like, I'm okay, I'm content, I'm comfortable. Knowing damn well, girl, you're content, but you're not comfortable. Hello, God. Sometimes being uncomfortable, you get a little comfortable. Does that make sense? Hello, God. And I can freely admit that. Sometimes I feel like because my head is right above water and I can breathe a little bit, that I'm good. And the only real reason, like, can I just be honest here? The only real reason that I justify that is because if you look at my life prior. Now, there were times I had way more money than way more money, made way more money, but removing the money from it, girl, just, I was doing, girl, they say you got a place, you got a car, you good to go. There's more to aspire to want to have. And I think sometimes you feel like just because you're you're breathing, just because you're better than what you were, you're better than most in some situations, right? That it's okay. No, it's not okay. Keep going. Keep shooting for the stars. These are things that I tell myself often. And it's time to not just talk about it. It's time to be about that shit. Okay? So moving forward, like I said, just getting it together, girl. And that brings me to this other piece of, conversation that I want to have. Me and Jace were on the phone last night, and I just went on this wild ass tangent. And I was just thinking about, like, all the wrong type of people, all the evil bitches out there in the world, they're the ones with money. Jace said it's because they didn't mind how many necks they had to step on to get there. And I said, that may be true, but what about Miss Destiny? Like, if we know that money rules the world, right? Don't you think Miss Destiny, God, they all know that, right? God must have knew it because he put it in the Bible. Well, they claim he put it in the Bible. Money is the root to all evil. And all the evil people have it. Because I thought about it, like, why don't we see a lot more good people, genuinely good people? Why don't we see them with the billions and the trillions? And then I thought about it a little bit deeper. And I was like, well, it's specifically designed that way because the makers, hello, the creators, hello God, the assholes that created the financial system, who created the money and all that shit, and, you know, they wanted to make sure that special interests that cater to them, that cater to world domination, that cater to keeping folks enslaved, was only 1% of us should be able, hello God, to hold the almighty dollar, the coin, the power, which is the money. The first thing they had to do was trick everybody back in the day with the currency situation and get that in place. Now money is the thing that runs the world. You have no choice but to work. Does that make sense? You have no choice. So they successfully were able to say, hey, you got to have money. If you want to live in this house or this apartment, if you want to drive, you know, even back then, you want that horse and carriage girl to get you and your family to point A to point B, girl. You want to harvest this land. You want to live life. You want to buy these clothes, girl, so you ain't naked. You need some medicine, girl, or a doctor's visit. It's going to cost you. When you know that things cost, you have no choice but to work. So that's why good people aren't billionaires, because if there were more good people that had money, shout out Mr. Beast. I talked about him last year. He went to Africa, and I believe he built over 100 water wells. He accomplished in a couple of months, or however long it took, what Africa's own government, their own people, their own society, the richness that y'all love to say that Africa is, there's a lot of wealth there. You're telling me that Mr. Beast, a foreigner to that land, right, went over there and accomplished his own dime, his own resources, all the things, right? That's crazy. But that should let you know. That's why more good people aren't billionaires, because we would be able to change this world. We would wipe clean, hello God, the corruption, the devastation that corruption has, you know, added to, hello God. Like, let's just tell the truth. These oil companies, the big ones, the oil companies, girl, the healthcare system, girl, pharmaceuticals, girl, even down to the food industry, girl. Like, it's just fashion, tech, especially tech. It's crazy. Most of these major industries that run the world, they're obviously owned and operated by the billionaires, the trillionaires, girl, the real makers of this life, right? Do you think they give a fuck? After all the years it's been exposed that there's child labor, there's sex trafficking, human trafficking, people literally being kidnapped and forced to work in these factories and work in these fields and work on these fucking boats out there, girl, like being forced. Then when they're done with you, they are killing your ass, bitch. So again, like, you're evil cunts. And if good people really had your money, had your standing in this life, I feel like the world would be in a much better place. There wouldn't be so much war. There wouldn't be so much famine and death due to starvation. Like, the fact that people are dying in 2024 of starvation is a fucking problem. I don't think that it's fair. I don't think and again, I think it's designed not to be fair. You know, evil is going to do whatever it takes to dominate, absolutely. But what kills me is they're the 1%, which means there's more of us than there is of them. Why haven't we You know, I talk about this all the time, but I always drag that question out, like, why haven't we burned everything of the past to the ground? What did Storm say in my intro, girl? Ancient sands, heed my commands and reclaim these relics of hatred. You know, that's why I kept that line in there, because it's, and most of what I talk about, it's true. Like, we're really out here in 2024 dealing with relics of hatred, girl. And shout out to X-Men 97, by the way. We will be getting into the things of the things, honey, because, girl, this is probably the best piece of TV, girl. This best piece of show I done seen in a very long time. Ever since the first season of Invincible. I haven't fully watched the second season yet. I'm so pissed when these shows do these little parts. Girl, run that shit. So I got sidetracked, and then during that sidetrack, Prime decided to deactivate somehow. I've been dealing, I done kind of gave up on Amazon right now because ain't nobody trying to help me. I don't have no access to my Amazon account. But anyway, it's the truth though, girl. We have to do away with the old systems. If we want to see any type of progress, if we weren't, hashtag enemies of progress, because that's what it really is. No one wants the old guard to change. You have to destroy, you have to obliterate and remove from the experience of life all the things that have tied our human existence down. Period. If you're going to move forward, that's why back in the day, you know, y'all hated, was it Haiti, girl? Was it Haiti? Or there was another island. I forget, girl, but this is the truth. When was it the Haitian slaves? I forget, girl, they got their independence day. What people were trying to point out is that, you know, they were killing all the white folks. I'm for that, though. When you're fighting for your freedom, you're fighting for a certain type of change. Unfortunately, you are going to have to slaughter, like I said, you're going to have to obliterate and remove every nook and cranny of that shit, bitch. You have to go. We don't need any more pieces of your hatred sitting around here so it can fester and multiply later on in life. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Here we are now. And I think that's what our ancestors get. That's what they get for being so graceful. We should have just, our ancestors just killed every last slave owner down to their children, bitch. Let's tell the truth. Though this definitely ain't getting monetized, girl. I'm just saying, don't think about it, girl. Like, you have to do, we gonna have to learn. Sometimes you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. All this playing soft, no, they ain't been playing soft with us. Hello. They don't play soft when it comes to us. What's it gonna take for us to feel that, and not just feel it, but react to that feeling in a way that is going to push us where we need to be? And for me, it's not really about black and white. It's about all people, because a vast majority of people of all races, all backgrounds are experiencing the foot on their neck, crushing their esophagus. The oppressors have been oppressing for far too long, and it's time for them to get their just due. I would like to see that happen way before my lifetime ends. I would love to just rest knowing that I was a part of some type of real change in the human existence. Because when you really look at it, girl, let's think about a few things that's just been happening recently. And I'm getting emotional because, like, I cry for us. I'm emotional. I speak for us. And again, we've had so many reasons to burn this bitch to the ground. The young black girl, forgive me for not knowing your name on hand right now. I didn't even mean to talk about you in this video, homegirl. I did plan on having this conversation about you and the many black girls and black boys and just people, period, who have found themselves in these disturbing ass situations and unfortunately losing your life in the most horrific way. There's this young black girl recently, they just found her body dismembered, girl. She went out on a date with this dude that she met on a dating app or whatever. Girl, she went missing, you know. He's been arrested since, thank God. But, you know, upon them investigating this girl's disappearance and then eventually finding her dismembered body, girl, there are more murders that this man has committed. And then the homegirl who was lured in by those people, I think we did talk about her, was Alabama, Mississippi, one of those two, girl. And, beat her up. So-called friends beat her up. They were inviting people to sexually assault her. She tried to reach out to her mom. Y'all know the story, girl. We see the young black boy who was chased down by so-called friends. Hello, God. And he suffered some type of medical emergency or whatever. We had another boy, black boy, who was drowned in a goddamn lake. I think he did survive, but, you know, on the road to being a doctor. So it's like when you see these things, and again, that's just to name a few. There are more. And these bitches, these political assholes get up here on these podiums and they want our votes. They need our votes. But at every fucking turning point, right? Every time, the promises that they promise are never promised. I'm sorry, girl. Like, it would have to be a situation where we just stage an American walkout. Nobody vote. Nobody go to work. On the week of elections, like, no one do shit. No social media. Just stay your ass at home. Show these people that we are really not fucking around with them, girl. Because, like, when are y'all... Again, every turn is against the people. When the pandemic hit, it took y'all 1,000,000 years to try to bring some type of relief to folks. And whatever relief you provided was nowhere near enough. So that's one thing. Even prior to that, when we had that big recession, we dug ourselves out. The pandemic, we made a way for ourselves. So much so, the government saw that, girl, the kids, although they have all lost their jobs due to Carisha Please, the kids they have ingenuity. Girl, the girls are out here making businesses, and they're not just making the businesses, they're making these successful businesses. We need a cut of that. We need a cut of that. So anybody who has a side hustle, you will be taxed, girl. Them Cash Apps, them Zelles, them Venmos, girl, them PayPals, we're clocking that. We want that. Every turn to help, you actually inflict more pain, more poverty, more complexities. You make it harder for people. But then y'all want to turn around and get mad at the PPP loan girls. I'm not mad at them. They saw a loophole, they saw an opportunity, and they took it. Y'all make everything else so difficult in the world. Which then makes me believe that that was intentional. Go ahead and approve all this money to these frauding ass bitches. We're going to get them later in fees, in court. And most of them will be people of color. So that helps us justify why we're rounding these hoes up. And then we realize, well, we're not going to jail them all. We'll find the hell out of them, and we're going to recoup those funds plus some. And we'll line our pockets with whatever the interest was. Hello. That's how they think. Nothing, when you really think about it, nothing has been designed to help us. After Carisha Please, even though she's still going on in a way, hello, y'all still manage to find ways to fuck with the everyday ordinary person. You started making jobs require people to get the all saving grace. Knowing what that would do, y'all got a lot of pushback for that, so y'all kind of just only made it mandated for, you know, federal employees type shit, you know? But the fact that I feel like do we really want the change? Have they poisoned our food and our drinking water, girl, so bad to the point where no one's ready to jump out the window about this shit? You can't provide for your family because of them. A lot of y'all folks passed away due to Carisha Please because of them. Our stresses in this life are because of them. Every problem that we have can be solved by them, but it's because of them. They've created a system where we're solely reliant on them. Look at the girls who be, you know, harvesting their own, you know, fruits, vegetables, the little farms and stuff. Get on that side of TikTok. Go do a YouTube search. You'll hear plenty of stories of farm owners saying, girl, there was these bitches dressed in black. They burned down my crops. They don't want us to be self-sufficient. They want us to be solely reliant on them. So even when they make fucked up decisions that don't have your interest at heart, girl, I'm telling you, you have no choice but to fall in line. We're going to raise taxes, but we're not going to give you a raise on your job. We're going to stress you out to the point where you're going to need a second job. So now you're a slave again, a slave again. So it all boils down to that's exactly why good people, more good people in the world are not rich. Because they know that money is the power. Money has the ability to change your situation. Wasn't there just recently this white woman, I forgot what she did, but I guess her husband, worked for this university. He passed away, and he directed that his entire, you know, I guess it was like in the hundreds of millions or whatever, he donated it to make sure that all the kids in that university can go to school for free, or whatever the case may be. I said, y'all are so dumb. Y'all are so dumb. School should be free any motherfucking way. That money could have been better used on children, hello God, who need it. Children's hospitals. It could have been, girl, or just give a little bit to that school and then spread the wealth. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Do y'all not realize in my state alone, I used to serve on a youth advisory board for foster kids when I was younger. Do you know that all the work that we did back then to secure legislation, girl, that would guarantee that these kids would be looked after, you know, that they would receive some type of financial assistance and all different types of resources well after they're 18 years old? Everything that we worked for has been unraveled. There is no more legislation. There is no more protecting the kids. All the group homes are pretty much gone. All the foster homes are riddled with fucking child molesters, for crying out loud. Let's just tell the truth. And abusers. And people who just want the kids for the check. There's not that many left around here that can be trustworthy. Let's tell the truth. And if it's my state, I know it's everyone's state experiencing something like this. So my thing is, when y'all billionaires go to passing away, you want to donate to it. Fuck them schools. If the children are not right, there won't be no schools. Let's just tell the truth. There's going to be nobody to fill those schools. Like I talked about with the Sanai and Unk shit from TikTok. Y'all keep trying to put resources and money in places that don't fucking matter. Start with the young. Start with the families. Help these mothers that are raising these kids. Help them with housing and how to pay their bills. That way they're not so stressed out. They end up bleeding their trauma off on their children. Because let's tell the truth, when you're in a bad situation, when you're growing up in the ghetto, the hood, whatever, with limited resources, you're only working 20, 30 hours a week, you lack certain education and lack certain skills to be able to get, your area, your proximity. Let's just tell the truth. Your black ass is being discriminated against on these jobs. Let's tell the truth. You don't have it like that. Bless that woman and her family. Bless that man and woman and their families, girl. Pour into these community funding programs, girl, so that people can have grace. When they have grace, guess what happens? Their mind frame changes, their emotions change. They start being more positive. When you have relieved some of the stress off the person, hello God, you get more happiness from them. That would ensure that the children in the household are happy, growing happy. Less trauma to carry with them in this life, which means the probability of them being successful is going to be much higher. Take all of this money that y'all want to give, because there's not many good people out there who are wealthy like that. So if you come up like that, girl, come out. We can't be relying on these athletes to be donating equipment and shit. We can't be relying on y'all want to give to these schools. Fuck the schools. Who cares? I'm going to say it again. Who cares about the school systems if there's no children to sit down in the motherfucking seats? And if we got to be honest, I got to get out of here, girl. You know me, I go on these tangents, girl. Because I'm passionate about this shit. I'm tired of seeing our human existence go slowly fall to hell, girl. Because we just won't stand the fuck up and gather these hoes. Because all they do, it's all they do. And it's simple shit. Everything I've said in this video is simple. The fact that it's not being acted upon lets you know they don't give a fuck. So if they don't give a fuck, why should we? Let's turn this bitch out. Inside out. Why not? Anyway, be blessed and never stressed, y'all. Food for thought, breakfast, lunch, dinner, a few snacks, bitch, and dessert, girl. Okay? That's and an enema. Because you're going to need it after all of this. Okay, girl. Again, be blessed and never stressed. Remember that health is truly wealth. Take care, y'all. Yeah, bye. We'll be having a conversation about the education system another time. Because that's going to be a whole video, too. Okay? Because we got to get into some things. Period.